You are live with Cranky and the Autobot Dad in the chill zone. Let's see if we can get the music going. Where is it now? This one, traffic control intro 2. Wait a minute. This has all been updated. Let's just pray that this goes live immediately. Evidently, it is. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, that will
How
do.
is it going? It has been a minute since we have
It sure
been
has
on.
been a minute, and
And
I'll
when I
use
say a
that.
minute, I'm talking probably 8-9 weeks because I was
4 weeks.
calculating it the other day.
Has it been 8 weeks already? Jeez,
It's been about 8 weeks. It's been crazy.
And in that time, Riverside has updated everything, so I have no idea if that music just worked or not.
It did work. I heard it. But whether it worked as in we are live, that is another story because everything seems.
Yeah. And Oh, your mic has just dropped out. There we go.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no. So what happened was I hit the audio button and it dropped.
Okay. No, so we've both had health issues and all sorts of things, such as the burden of our generation now, getting older. We're becoming middle-aged blokes.
Yes.
And
we've got a by-election over here, and then obviously there's a federal election as well that has come up. I don't know if that's the same for over there or if it's just a over here sort of thing, but we've got a Secret Harbour by-election, and then we've got...
I don't vote anyway because I'm one of Pauline Hanson's favourites. I'm an immigrant.
You're the immigrant, yes, that is right. And then we've got a council by-election as well, so we've got a few things going on over here.
I don't think we have a council by-election, but we do have we do have an election coming up.
Yeah, so I can't wait for that. It's politics is very hard these days. It's they just seem to be fighting each other now.
Everyone seems to have these good policies that lift them up, and then they come up with really shit policies as well.
Yeah,
shut them down again. So it forces people to go for the PM who has the least shit policies in their opinion.
Well, that's it, and they keep moving to this green energy, and they forced everyone to, well, not force, but basically push the electric car situation, saying, oh, go buy an electric car, it's great for the economy, it costs you nothing to run, and then all of a sudden they brought a tax in on it.
Yeah,
that's what gets me is they tell everybody go get it, but really there was an underlying thing there for them that later on they were going to bring in a tax for it, and that's what they did, which is crazy because everyone's seen it coming, but it was just a matter of when are they going to enforce it. And everyone was like, nah, they won't make a road user charge for electric vehicles. How can they? And it's like, well, they are using the roads, but they're not polluting. It's electric. But see, my thing with electrics...
I don't know about the whole not polluting thing. I think they are less pollutant.
Less polluted, yeah.
It's, how do I put it? It's like it's deferring the pollution. It's not quite...
That's it. It's not solving because,
but it is putting pollution out of something, which is the power station.
Well, that's it, and it's because of the battery lifespan. Like, what happens to the batteries after they die, and they need to be replaced. So, electric vehicles, on average, a normal petrol vehicle lasts, depending on how well you look after it. I've seen cars run for 50 to 60, 70 years, and they're still running now. They might be not running as peak and long distance, but they're still running. But electric vehicles, the batteries do have a lifespan, and they recommend in between, 10 to 20 years or something on electric vehicles?
I think the problem there is that we haven't had electric vehicles in mass production for long enough to actually know, A, how long the lifespan really is, and B, what we can do with them afterwards. Because they are figuring out ways now to recycle these batteries. But
they are. They're trying to figure out how to do it. I'm just going to quickly type something here.
There aren't enough of them that are dying quickly enough to figure it out just yet. Because we've had, electric vehicles have been mass-produced for probably 15 years, not including hybrids.
Yeah, so that's what it's about that. So in between 10 to 20 years, although it can vary with batteries, chemistry, climate, charging habits. So if you charge it on the regular and you're on top of it and not letting it die, then you can last up to the 20-year mark. Now, what happens after 20 years? And most of these EVs as well, they've only got a range of 350, 400 Ks, and then you need to charge.
I've found 600 Ks now.
600 now, is it? So the new ones are up to 600 there. Yeah, okay. So you can actually get an actual trip out of it now. So
yeah, you can get a decent road trip out of it.
But then again, how much is that 600-kilometer vehicle going to cost you?
That's what they're about.
The one I seen the
40 grand, I think.
The other one I seen the other day, which I think was the Model Y Tesla, that was 80,000, and it goes up from 80,000. And
but with Tesla, you're buying the brand, and a lot of people, when they think electric car, they only think Tesla. They don't think, MG has electrics, Toyota has straight electrics. And all these brands are actually a lot more, they're a better quality than Tesla.
See, they generated this electric vehicle 4-wheel drive saying, it's the best, it's the best. One, you can't go underwater. It's electric. You can't, if you smash into mud or anything like that, you're going to surge out your system because, again, mud, water, it gets all into the crevice, go hard, and that's it. Bang. There goes your battery.
Have you seen these hybrid Hiluxes they have on the road now?
I haven't seen them, but I've heard of them. So
they must work on some level.
I've seen the BYD model. But I don't know if that's the Shark. I was sitting there, and I was like, is that full electric or is that like hybrid? No,
they're a hybrid. Again, all BYDs are a plug-in hybrid.
How well are they though? You can't take it near water, whereas an old Toyota 80 series, for instance, with the snorkel, can go directly underwater. Most of these 4-wheel drives that are petrol, people go, I'll throw a snorkel on it, I can go underwater. Well, you can't, because the minute it gets above your engine, that engine's going to die. Whereas the snorkel literally does nothing, because the snorkel's not where it needs to be to get your engine to breathe. This guy, I've thrown a snorkel on it.
To the airbox.
Yeah, it's meant to.
It's meant to, but a lot of people don't. They just bolt it to the outside.
Bolt it to the outside and go, I've got a snorkel, I can go underwater.
You can always tell the ones, because the snorkel, the end of the snorkel just goes into an arbitrary point on the end of the A-pillar.
And you're looking at it just like...
That's not where it's supposed to go. The snorkel's supposed to go right to the front of the car.
Yeah, it's meant to attach. So... The 80 series that my sister's got is you can take it underwater, take it through mud. It doesn't have issues, all of this. But then you see these electric vehicles, they're like, I'm going to smash it through water, and all of a sudden their car's stalled. And you're like, what happened, dude?
I'll make a point about that, though. Remember the old diesel submarines they used to have in the Second World War?
Yeah.
They were electric. They were diesel electric.
That's what I mean. How did that work properly? I was only watching a history thing the other day about that.
I assume that that hybrid cars work the same way. The battery and the motor are completely sealed off from any water or anything. No water can get in to interfere with it. So what they used to do, the submarine would surface when it was outside of battle, and it would run the diesel engine to charge up the batteries, and then down it goes again.
Right, and then all electric from there.
Yeah, all electric underwater, because obviously you can't have an open exhaust port while you're underwater. You'll sink.
Yeah, that's
it. But I presume that these hybrid 4-wheel drives work the same way.
Well, I've seen them clock out. That's the thing. So
have you?
Yeah, they smash through water or mud, and that's it. Yeah. All of a sudden, it's smoking. It's what was the one that was on the beach? I watched him go through a puddle, and I wouldn't say the puddle was overly big, but it was big enough where he went head first, and then he sort of came out of it, and then the car just stopped. And I looked at him, I thought, is he going to keep going? Why has he stopped? Walked over to him, found out that he goes, the car's stalled. It won't kick over anymore. It had literally just stopped working. He had hit the water, and the car just went, no more. That was it. It just died off. So somehow between the water and that, it's killed off, because everything's electric. Obviously, everything about the car is electric. But for real advocate sort of four-wheel driving,
Mm.
I probably wouldn't be relying heavily on electric. I'd be wanting to have one of those old 80 series, 79 series, or even 70 series Land Cruisers with the snorkel. You know it works. They can go long range, all that sort of jazz. But I do like the idea of electric because one, petrol costs are just going to soar. Like the government has found the loophole now. They're using some foreign war that's got fuck all to do with us. In fact, we've got that much diesel sitting in our tanks that we have boats that we are paying for at $100,000 to $300,000 per day to sit in the ocean because we've got nowhere to store it. Yet the government was saying how much of a shortage we had. Oh, this place is a shortage, that place is a shortage. But what it is the big companies obviously playing monopoly with everyone. So it's it's kind of annoying in a sense that, we have this big shortage, yet you've got tankers that the taxpayers paying for sitting offshore. But then you look at electric vehicles, they're not waiting for anything. They just need a charging station.
They just need charging. And you can refuel it while you're at home in bed.
In bed. So
I do have something I want to get into on that point as well. But go on, carry on.
No. Yeah, so my thing, I've got a friend that's got a Tesla, or had a Tesla. He just sold it, actually. But he charges it at home. He can go out traveling and he can charge it on his trip. So they stop at a designated area where they can charge it. Obviously, just pay a couple of bucks to charge it up, 10, 15 bucks, whatever. Keep on going, full tank. But then you look at the $15 to fully charge your vehicle again for another 600 Ks versus 600 Ks is going to cost you $200. Right? The massive saving that you can actually get from EVs compared to petrol is there, but it does have a lifespan of 20 years, whereas my vehicle's going to last beyond 20 years. Like, I look after it, it's going to run well. I'm probably going to get 30, 40 years out of it. So... I'm not 100% sold on EVs, but I wouldn't say no to EVs.
Go for a plug-in hybrid before I go for a straight electric car bike.
I think that's probably the best.
Yeah. Mostly because one of my mates has a plug-in hybrid. He's got one of those Cherries. And at first I thought they were a kind of shithouse idea. And then, it turns out if he charges it at home, it costs him like $1 to charge the thing, and he gets He gets 190 kilometers worth of use out of each charge before if he plugs it in. He gets 190 kilometers out of each charge before the petrol engine kicks in at all.
That's crazy. So it gets to a certain point and then it just drops over. It kicks over to the other one.
Yeah. So what he does, right? He loves his Red Rooster. And he's discovered that near our local Red Rooster, there's a place, there's a supercharger, right? It's a tiny little servo, and it's got 2 superchargers. So what he does, he goes and uses that as the free parking. He plugs the car in there, takes the family into Red Rooster, pays. They have dinner, and they probably pay less than what they'd pay for a full tank of petrol.
Yeah, find out how much it costs him to use that supercharger. So I know over here it's between $15 and $30, depending where and what supplier and all that. There's not really a full cost on it
because his one's not a full electric car.
Okay, yeah.
It only has like a quarter the size battery that a normal electric car would have. It costs them about $8 or something.
Right. And what about towing?
Empty to full. Towing, don't get your hopes up about towing anything with an electric car.
Yeah, that's what I was only. Obviously, you've got the Tesla fucking Elon Musk Cybertruck, and they say, oh, you can tow with that, it'll bash through. Now, that is a vehicle that you could take anywhere. That is apparently bulletproof, but we're never going to get it because they have to change the whole dynamics to be able to get it. Tesla is signing people up for a wait list for a Cybertruck in Australia. And it's like,
it'll never happen because we have a very obscure law in place that stops it from coming into place. Do you know what that law is?
Something to do with the left-hand drive or something, isn't it? And something to do with the shaft, or
it's something to do with the steering shaft.
Yeah. Which
So
doesn't make sense
we
because you've got
have
all these American old vehicles that are left-hand drive.
we have a very specific law here that states that any car has to have a steering shaft that can crumple, right?
Yeah, Elon's doesn't.
The Cybertruck doesn't have a steering shaft at all, and so that goes against that law, which
Yeah,
means we can't have them yet.
yeah, right. So all
Because
because
the
it's
Cybertruck
independent.
steering column is Bluetooth.
Yeah, everything's like the
Yeah,
independent to that. Everything's like the way he's designed it is so it wouldn't have issues like that.
I mean
And
that's so typical of the Australian government, though, isn't it?
if I was prime minister, I
Because
can almost guarantee it, if Pauline Hanson gets in, the first thing that it would be going is that law. I
yeah,
could almost guarantee because she'd be like, "Why the fuck is this here? What?
yeah,
Why is it an issue? What issues does it cause Australia? None. In fact, if someone crashes into it, chances are they're going to make the smallest dent on the side of this fucking Cybertruck. Their car's just going to be like hitting a brick wall, and it's going to crumble the car." And you're going to have a fucking scratch on the Cybertruck. Like,
yeah.
or the Cybertruck's going to do a flip, be on its head, and then need flipped over again, and off it keeps going. Like,
That's the
it's unbreakable. In fact, I believe Elon Musk said you can't, it's bulletproof. Like, now, here's where criminals might use it, and where the government might also be kicking off the fact that it's bulletproof. You're effectively driving around an armored truck. Like, it's that impenetrable. So criminals would use it to an advantage. And how would the police stop it? Like, you can't shoot at it. Popping tires. Well, are the tires unpenetrable? Like,
no, I'd say they're just regular tires.
just regular tires. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I would buy the Cybertruck in a heartbeat just because I like the style of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the style of it.
It's a bit
like
yellow. It looked like a cheese wedge.
I would have to change the color. Like, I'd have to wrap it. Like, it'd definitely get wrapped because that color is horrible and it's only got one color. So I'd definitely be wrapping it for sure. But it's just a vehicle that seems that it would go and go and go. But again, as Elon has stated, the battery lifespan is only 20 years. So again, that Cybertruck that you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars getting is only going to last you 20 years, and then you're going to need a new battery. And that's the same with all the Teslas. So it's 20 years you get out of that battery. How much
they cost? A couple of $100,000.
Oh, yeah, they're not cheap. Those Cybertrucks are insanely expensive. I think the one that was over here was 130,000, 140,000. And I'm sitting there going, bloody hell, that's like a mortgage sitting right there. That's money for land and a house. So you're going to effectively buy a deposited vehicle because you got to put a deposit on it. So you got to deposit the vehicle, you got to put some money down on it, and then you're going to put 150 grand further into it, which is a deposit for a house. So you're effectively buying a house on wheels.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm spending 150,000, get fucked. I'm buying a mobile home. I'm buying a motor coach. Like, fuck that. I want a house on wheels. I want a bus. Like, I'm not buying a Cybertruck.
We do have electric buses.
We do.
Which is what got me thinking about this topic, right? Because I don't know if you know, but there's discussion right now that Perth is going to be electrifying its fleet.
It is. It's already started. So Perth is, I'd say we're probably 50, 60% electric, maybe 50% electric right now, but they want to go full fleet electric. So we still have a couple of diesel buses running around, but most of the times, like for the area that I'm in, most of the buses are electric. Obviously out in the country, we don't have any buses. We still get the old coach come back in or drive in.
Yeah.
But in Mandurah, Rockingham, and I'd say like Perth, but most of them are electric. But then you've still got the occasional diesel running around. But they are good. They're quiet. They're more efficient.
They're great to drive. I love driving them.
Yeah, like they feel smooth as. And a lot of the bus drivers that I've spoken to say they prefer a electric bus over the diesel bus. So, there you go.
It's satisfying. I love driving them because you can actually see the things like the regenerative braking. You can see them paying off.
Yeah, and
and they've
I'm
been
sure there's
sold out
probably
pretty
a button
quickly.
there that you can push and you can watch the ergonomics of the
Oh
fleet and
no,
how
not
it
even a
works.
button.
Display screen.
It's got a display on the screen that shows you where your normal tachometer would be.
Yeah.
It has a voltmeter instead.
Oh,
So
there you
what
go.
happens is the voltmeter stands up straight for zero.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if you're accelerating, it starts to lean towards
Yeah.
that way to show how much power you're putting into the motor. And if you're decelerating, so if you're not using the accelerator, it starts to lean
That's
that
go
way to
away.
show recharge.
Yeah, right. Okay. See, what would be fascinating is to get fully solar batteried buses. So you have solar panels on the roof that are flat because obviously they go through some tight areas, but you get the flat solar panels on the roof that automatically recharge it on a sunny day, which would then be self-driving, self-powered. Now, how cool would that be to see that happening? Like, you see people doing it all the time, but I think the way the public is, they'd find a way to smash up the solar panels, and I think there'd be some criminal out there going out and fucking just constantly smashing solar panels on the roof of buses just because they're pissed off at Transperth for some reason, and then that would decommission that whole bus because
You
the
get a lot of
panels
people out there who'd go and do it purely because they are against any sort of technological advancement.
Yeah. It's crazy because in Australia, you would think we have a good network system and a good understanding now of solar that we could have nice things, but we can't have nice things because we have this 10% of the public who are complete fucktards. There's probably more like 30% of the public now that are fucktards that destroy it for the rest of us who want nice shit in the world.
I got into a bit of a discussion with one of said people on Facebook the other day on this post about Perth's fleet going completely electric, right?
Yeah.
This guy was up there. What was he saying? I can't remember what his actual comment was. It was something about how these electric buses are all going to be dead on the side of the road in 5 years' time. Anyway, so I was like, okay.
The government to start with, so.
Boy, yes. Please
luck.
explain to me how and why these electric buses are going to be dead on the side of the road in 5 years' time.
Exactly.
You know, Sydney has had electric buses for, like 15 years or something now, and we haven't seen that as a problem. It hasn't happened. So why would it happen in Perth?
Yeah.
You know, and this guy's like, oh, because the electric buses are shit heaps. They're this and that, and he's carrying on. And I went like, oh, one more thing. He goes, you just because you don't see them getting swapped out every 3 hours. Yeah, that was it. The other thing he brought up was the battery life. He's like, oh, they're not equipped. They're not efficient because you have to constantly be charging them and whatnot. And I'm like, no, you don't. These things can run all day.
They will run all day.
Electric buses can run all day. And he's like, oh, just because you're not there to see them getting replaced every 3 hours doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And I went, you know what? You're absolutely right. I don't see them getting replaced every 3 hours. And I drive them for a living. No response. Like I can make a bus battery last an entire 10-hour shift and still come home, back to the depot with 50% left.
Yeah, it's a matter of how they drive it. You've got to be able to really smash the battery in it to, be heavy-handed on it for it not to last. And in Perth, anyway, all the bus stations have got their own equipped bloody charging station. So if they do run low anyway, when they go on a normal general break, they just swap the bus out and just put that bus on charge. It takes them less time now to be able to swap a bus over because it takes a matter of 15, 20 minutes, if that, for them to go, oh, yeah, plug that one in. I'm taking, bus bay 2 now that's fully charged and equipped. And that comes from the command center who will tell them, hey, yeah, me bus is getting low on charge. I just need to swap it out. And then they'll swap it out during their break time, which they're paid for. And then after they got their new bus, have their break and continue shift. So,
but even then, that's like you got to be a real lead foot to get the
run
bus
it out. And
low.
most of these batteries they're designed to run long distance. They've got There's more space in the bay to make these buses run all day,
Yeah.
like the 10-hour charge. Like, just because we don't have it in our vehicles doesn't mean the buses don't have it. The buses will have it because they need to run all day, and they wouldn't be creating buses to only be able to do 400 Ks if they've got to use it all day. So these buses have probably got an 800, 1200 kilometer fucking range sitting on it. Like, exactly. Like, I'm gonna actually, let's see if we can Google, see if what comes up. What the
But I'm fortunate in that there are a lot of hills in my area, so when I do drive them, I just take my foot off the pedal as I'm going downhill and watch the charge meter just go pop all the way that way.
Oh,
so
look
recharge.
at that.
100% recharge as I'm going downhill.
So the Trans-Perth, some of these buses have a range of 300 Ks, whereas some have a 1200 kilometer range according to ChatGPT. So it depends on what bus, how big the bus is, depending on a single charge, they can get up to 300 Ks or they can get up to 1200. So I wasn't too far off. Trans-Perth now has more than 150 electric buses. And new electric buses are entering service at a rate of around 11 per month, according to the PTA, as of June 2026. So that's 11 a month.
Yeah.
Each standard electric bus is estimated to save around 40 tonnes of CO2 per year. The WA government estimates an electric bus is about $1 million cheaper to operate over the 18-year lifespan. So 18 years they're designed to last for as an average, they've been estimated. The newest articulated electric buses can recharge in approximately 4 hours. Expected bus service life about 18 years is used by the WA government when comparing operating
that 4
costs.
hours, though, it's from empty to full.
Yeah, that's empty to full.
0 to 100%, which a lot of the time they're not going to be doing.
No, that's it.
A lot of the time, you're going to get drivers who actually know what they're doing. They know how to drive these things. Like me, for example, like I said, I can run an entire 10-hour shift in a bus and bring it back with 50% charge left. So that's going to take 2 hours, maybe even 1 hour if you've got a good enough charger.
Yeah. So continuously, entire day, blah, blah, blah. I just put the question out there. How does a 300-kilometer bus last all day on public transport? It says it can because a public bus doesn't necessarily travel continuously for the entire day. And Trans-Perth plans which buses operate on which routes around their available range. If a Trans-Perth bus has roughly 300 Ks maximum range, a route might only be 15 kilometres each way, 30-kilometre round trip, 8 return trips, 240 Ks. That still leaves roughly 60 Ks before having to recharge, theoretically 300 kilometres maximum. During the stop and layovers, the driver's breaks, the bus isn't adding kilometres, although the air conditioning and other systems will still consume battery power. Buses return to the depot and are generally charged when they're not required for service or swapped over for other buses to continue the route, which is exactly what I was saying. They'll just continue the route. So there you go.
Then again, that's if you're a right lead foot.
Exactly right. Because
on the
you can
accelerator. If you drive very lightly like I do and do a lot of coasting and a lot of braking, you can make that battery last a lot longer than it should.
Yeah, that's it. And they can last for a while. You've just got to make them last. It comes down to driver behavior, that's for sure.
You can always tell the lead feet when it comes down to talking about electric buses, because I do this quite often at the depot. I always ask the older drivers, what do you think of the electric buses? And they're like, the batteries don't last long enough. Well, I took it out for a 7-hour shift and I brought it back with 10% battery. And I'm like, that's because you have a fucking foot made out of brick, don't you?
Yeah, well, you're smashing that foot to the floor to get it going again.
I've pulled up next to you at the Bowser at the end of a shift, mate, and I'll arrive after you and I'll leave before you because my bus uses a lot less fuel because I don't fucking stomp on the accelerator.
Yeah, you just tap it. You don't have to. Yeah, even in a normal vehicle, if you put your foot flat to the floor, you're chewing more petrol than what's needed. All to what? Get to 0 to 100 in what, 6 seconds?
You got to have fun sometimes, though.
Yes. Well, it nearly cost me a bloody speeding ticket, but
did it?
I luckily seen so on our street, you come around the corner from the traffic lights, right?
Oh, excuse
and
me.
there's a lovely little spot in the middle island that police love to sit in, and you can only emergency services can do this U-turn there. But they'll set their patrol vehicle there with the radar gun as well as the car's radar, clocking everyone coming around the corner, flat flooring it up. Now, I was lucky because I just got the glimpse of this little tiny sports police vehicle in the middle island, and I was like, oh, quickly take my foot off because I was giving it. I was getting up there, and I just, as I hit the speed limit, just about to go over it to, take off even quicker. I just got the glimpse and I was like, oh, brake, and it just all of a sudden, just speed comes down. I bet you the coppers in the car going, oh, that lucky bugger, he just caught us.
You can't.
Yeah, they were waiting for it because they could see the speed going up. They would have been going, oh, 40, 60, oh, 70. Wait, and then they're getting all jumpy. I even seen the door open up, so I knew that they were targeting the car. And then all of a sudden I just drop down and then you see the door close again as I go past, and I just wave at them. But I can guarantee you, if that was an electric vehicle, I would have been 0 to 100 in 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Yeah, they're
such quick. I guarantee I would have almost got I would have got a ticket for like 140. It would have been double the speed limit. I would have had my car impounded because electric vehicles, they're just designed to take off quicker. The response time is instant, whereas a petrol and diesel is not instant. It takes time, whereas electric will just go instant speed.
Let's use the analogy of an electric drill, right? When you pull the trigger on an electric drill, it doesn't go bzzz. Like a petrol engine does. It's fucking straight away, isn't it?
It's like
you release the trigger on the electric drill. What happens? It doesn't slowly wind down. No, it stops instantly.
It just stops.
That's how regenerative braking works.
Yeah. I just had something pop up saying coal-powered electricity. What's the point if you're charging it from coal? So coal-powered electricity, I think we've got a lot of coal in Australia.
We do have a lot of coal.
And why is it...
That's another interesting topic to me, but I'll let you finish, sorry.
Yeah, the coal-powered electricity, I think if we reopened coal mining, we would probably bring down the cost of electricity because we're using natural resources which should drive down the cost of electricity. But the government won't do that. It reduces some environmental advantages, but electricity generation can progressively become cleaner while the same EV remains on the road. And someone charging predominantly from rooftop solar is a very different situation from someone relying entirely on grid power or coal-powered vehicle. Interesting.
That was an interesting topic I came across because there was a meme a while back. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a photo of a Tesla being charged from a diesel generator, right? always makes me laugh because you look in the comments and you're like, oh, this guy's a fuckwit, sort of thing. And I'm like, not really. Because if you think about it, if you have an internal combustion car, that internal combustion engine is probably running at peak efficiency maybe 40% of the time you're driving it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like it needs to be in top gear and it needs to be at something like 2,500 revs before it's running at peak efficiency. Whereas that generator is running at peak efficiency all the time. And it's the same thing with the coal power station. They're going to be running that thing at peak efficiency because this thing's owned by a company.
What about servicing of all that as well?
Yeah.
Like servicing of an EV, there's no spark plugs, no engine oil, or conventional exhaust system. So the only thing you've got is tires, brakes, suspension, air conditioning, coolant. That's it.
Battery coolant. There's obviously they've got to check the battery health every time you take it in for a service. And then there's what else is there? It's still got things like wheel bearings and whatnot that need to be greased.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's all the things you do in a normal car service except for changing the oil.
And that's what I mean. Like the crazy thing about EVs is that it's got so many perks to it. And we have so much natural resources in coal. And we're not using it because the government's like, we don't have anyone wanting to do coal mining, yet you shut down all the coal mines. Like, people were employed in coal mining You shut it down because it was going to be cheaper to run electricity, and you had this green energy plan. And solar, that Western Power are now pulling the piss out of people because they have how many solar farms getting free electricity, and yet it costs us more because, but it costs more to run the farm. Well, that's not our problem.
They're going to call it the green tax or something.
Yeah, it's a green tax. So it's like, well, how the fuck does that work when you're meant to be building this to lower the cost, but you've actually built it to make it more expensive, but cheaper for you as a business to obtain? So the grid is getting constantly powered. You've got unlimited resources of the sun constantly charging said grid, so it's never going to die. And then our electricity is still more expensive than what it was 2 years ago. And somehow we were told it was going to be cheaper.
I love the fact that you get these people that go, what happens to solar farms when on a cloudy day are we going to suddenly lose power? And I'm like,
well, no, you've still got the grid.
Have you not heard about batteries?
Yeah. And I'm sure Western Power has gone and built a very big battery farm.
I mean, like, do these people think that, like, once the coal power stations, if they start to, they're not run out of coal, but when they start to produce slightly less power, like at night, what do you think? All the lights are going to brown out or something?
Yeah, nah.
No, because we have these things called batteries, which we store the excess energy in that we create.
Exactly.
When they shut down part of the coal power station, right, we switch over to battery power.
Yeah.
They have massive batteries on them that store up the power. Most of them are underground. Store up the power so that when they want to save a little bit of money in generating power at night, the batteries take over.
Yeah.
And the same thing's going to happen with these solar farms. They have
I
batteries.
think when Pauline Hanson gets in, which I think is a very good chance she will, and Labor is scared. They're even scared in the Secret Harbour by-election because they know One Nation doesn't even have to run around and do this and do that. They know they're already going to get the seat because people are pissed off. Pauline Hanson came out and said that if she gets in, she'll reopen coal mining. She's all for coal mining, not against it.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll make life a lot easier for some people. Now, there is a few things in there, like there was things like, apparently she's going to cut Medicare and cut, pensions and this, that, and the other. I don't think she's ever going to do that. I don't think those words have ever, I'm going to cut Medicare or I'm going to cut health. I think it'd be very politically suicidal for her to do that.
I was going to say, I think any politician who decided they were going to bring in a policy that cut Medicare in any way they'd be signing their own death warrant. Like, no matter how many good policies they bring in, if a politician was like, you know what, Medicare gone, people would be like, fuck this, I'm not living in this country anymore.
100%. And as I've always said, if Pauline Hanson gets in and fucks it up for Australia, that's it. Australia is no longer Australia at that point. Like, it's already from when we were kids to the way Australia has gone, you go down the street and point out an Aussie and tell me that it's still Australia. We've got mass murdering. We've got people running into Jewish events and mass murdering people.
Yeah.
You got people running around fucking Bondi trying to cause terrorist attacks. You've got the Lint Cafe fucking terrorist fucking issue.
Even the terror cells disown that bloke.
Yeah,
they wanted nothing to do with him.
They wanted nothing.
ISIS or something?
Yeah,
because he claimed he was an ISIS member and he was doing this in the name of Allah. And ISIS was like, "Fuck you! You got nothing to do with us."
Yeah, which I found that funny, to be honest. It's just we've got all these issues now. I'm all for having a multicultural society, but at some point you've got to look at the migration and go, enough's enough. At some point you've got to look at Australia as a whole and go, okay, we have a housing crisis, but we've got to, at the moment, yes, we're struggling on doctors and nurses and all that sort of jazz, but we're coping. So while we're coping, you need to stop the migration coming in because there's nowhere to put them. But this is how they're getting houses. The government is paying these so-called people to come over and giving them a house as part of their big plan. Hey, you've got something we need, we'll give you X, Y, Z. It's the same thing with the boat
Where's my
people.
free house?
Exactly. It's the same thing with the boat people. There was an Aussie bloke the other day that found out that the government's handing out boats worth up to $300,000 to the boat people to go back to their own country. I'm sitting there thinking, fuck, I'm in the wrong trade here. I need to be a people smuggler. I'll get myself a $300,000 boat just to fucking bring these cunts over and get sent back over again. I'm not an Aussie, mate. I don't know what you're on about. Give me that boat over there. I like that one. Can I choose from between this boat and that boat? Because that yacht over there looks a hell of a lot better than this one.
I forgot I can't move my arm like that at the moment.
It is crazy to see how Australia is transforming, and not for the better either. Like, again, I'm all for integration and bringing people in, but if we had the housing supply, then sure. If we had the road infrastructure, the hospital infrastructure, the work infrastructure, then sure. Yeah. But we don't. And there's 1 million more people here today than what there was last year. So 3 million compared to the 2 million, it's just getting crazy. And even now the government's trying to scramble, go, how can we stop this and bring the number down? Too fucking late. Like, the numbers are the numbers.
We got two things in this country that don't agree with each other. Number one is that we have a high rate of immigration, which is fine. I love the fact that we have people from different cultures coming into the country, right? And bring your food with you. For goodness sake, bring your food with you. People from different cultures have the most incredible food. But so that's number one. The other thing we don't have is we do not have any cheap housing.
No. All the housing now, you try to find a house that's worth up to 500,000.
Go back in time to the 70s through to the 90s. And we had entire areas of these cheap shit houses that just had concrete floors.
And on big blocks.
These are the sort, and they were on big blocks. It was just a cheap shit house with a fibro garage and a Hills hoist in the back.
Fiber fucking fencing.
Yep. And we could afford immigration back then because we had
housing.
We had tons of these houses going up. We don't anymore. No. Now, for some reason, even in the new housing estate, they've got
and you could travel on the freeways and be easier.
Yeah, that's it. Where was I going? You go to the new housing estates and you've got all these modern-looking, nice places with price tags on them that are over $1 million, and they're all done up. They're carpeted inside. They've all got ducted air conditioning. All of them have to have the home theater system and everything.
Yeah.
Why? Why does that have to happen? I would be more than happy to move into a cheap shitbox place as long as it's something I could call my own.
When we built this house here, we deliberately wanted a bigger block than what we own, so we went from 410 to 460. Yeah. And I deliberately made the theater rooms smaller because I wanted the larger bedrooms. And backyard space for the kids. So it's a smaller house in general, but the outside is a lot larger, a lot more comfortable, a lot more room, a lot of areas to do things in.
But you guys can afford that.
See, we couldn't. So we got lucky because what had happened was Sarah and her ex had obviously built. Sarah obviously got the house as part of the breakup because she wasn't from here. So she ended up with the house. She paid the mortgage, all that sort of jazz with her ex. So the lawyer said, well, Sarah gets it because you didn't pay shit.
Yeah.
You paid nothing, literally towards the house. So zero was the outcome. The excess money that was from that land of sale, so the bank still got paid back, and there was probably about only $200 and something odd $1,000 left over, which then got transferred into the new house and put on this land here. So the land here practically got paid off. With a couple of thousand left over, maybe 20, 30,000 left over. But there was still the cost of the actual house build. So it still cost over $400,000 for the house. So you're looking still in total, 450 odd thousand, 410,000 in total. But when you start pulling your loans and your excess all into that, then you're looking at what, 450,000. So it's still on average will cost you $410,000, or if you add the land, $780,000 to buy just a 460 square block with a house on it. So it is very fucking expensive. The cost of it is coming down, but it's still expensive to buy a house over here. And it's like, you're bringing in all these people. Where are you putting them? Like, where are they going? Because you can't get a rental now that's cheaper than what the mortgage is. You're still looking at $750
Yeah,
for
yeah.
rental in Perth. 650, 750 for rent in Perth. And I'm sure in Sydney and Bondi, you're probably looking at 750 for a shit house. Like, you probably can't, unless you move out to, I'd say, the country areas, you could probably get it still cheaper.
You've seen a video tour of my place, right?
Mm,
It's in a way you have. You have a rough idea what my house looks like. It's not a shit house, but
exactly. Yep.
the average rental for my area, which is supposed to be a low income area, is $700
There
a
you go.
week.
A week. So
Yeah, I'm not paying that. I'm pretty good friends with my landlord, so they gave us a really good deal, and we're lucky for that. But the
it's
average,
the average area though, you're still looking at that 700 mark, and that's the crazy
yeah,
part. Like, and then you start going up further. You start looking at
yep,
places like Bondi, where you're paying
yep,
$1,200 a week or $1,400 a week for a little studio apartment, just because why you want to be in a nice area. And this people seem to think, oh, I'm going to move to Sydney, and because Sydney for Australia is the landmark for every tourist immigration, they're
mm,
like, oh, I'm
mm.
moving to Sydney. I'm moving to Sydney. I'm going to see this. But then when they get here, they're like, what the fuck? It's so expensive. Like, they're not told the expense of that
It's why
area.
it's expensive. But again, that brings me back around to my point. That's like no one seems to be happy anymore to just live in a low income house.
Which is crazy because
It's
I'd still
crazy,
happily
right?
do it.
Like, yeah. Like you guys have a nice house because you could actually you could afford that place.
Mm.
Well, Sarah had
She
the
had
money
the
saved
way to
up
do it.
to put the deposit down
Exactly.
and all that. You guys actually had the means to do it. But then
Mm.
you get other people in my position, for example, right? And they're like, "Oh, housing is so expensive now. Um, oh, we don't want to live in a place that actually is cheap.
Mm.
We don't want to live. We need to have a place that's got the home theater room and the ducted
People
air
want this.
conditioning and solar, and it's
That's
like
it.
you want to live like a millionaire on a beggar's budget.
On a beggar's budget, yeah. Now, we got lucky. Obviously, the first plan of thought when we got my payout from work was we need to
Yeah,
get a solar battery. Straight
yeah,
away, like all the spare money we had, solar battery.
yeah, and that's
Because,
going to
and
pay for itself
it's
over the
going to
years.
pay for it exactly right. And it's almost paid
Mm.
off now. There's probably like only 9 grand left on it. But we have not received an electricity bill in ages. I think our last electricity bill was like $90, and that
You've
wasn't a
lived
bill.
there.
That was a
That's a service
administration,
fee.
Western
Yeah.
Power, synergy fee, whatever
Hmm,
fees they want
hmm.
to throw in. That's all that was. But then when you looked at usage, zero. Like
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
there was no cost because the solar battery is paying for itself. I think the worst bill we've had so far is $130, and that's because it was winter time and we were running the heating all day, every day, night.
Mm, mm.
But for still $130
But
to be
again,
running your heating.
that's $90 of service fee and $40 of heating fee, heating
Exactly.
bill.
$40 of a heating bill, yeah. So it just pays for itself in big ways. Like, we went from $250, $300 bills to practically nothing. And one of our
Mm,
friends
mm.
were getting bills of $1,200 every quarter. And we're like, you need to get a solar battery.
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah,
you don't
exactly.
get a solar battery, these bills are going to continue being $1,200. She slashed it by more than half.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, see, it pays for itself. The idea, it took a while to go, okay, yeah, battery. Like, we can't keep paying these
Mm.
$1,000 bills. But they've got 5 people living in the house. Now
Jeez.
they're looking at selling the house and getting a $1.2, $1.3 million house, which is good. But the houses that are
Mm.
available are like only 4 or 5 bedrooms,
Yeah,
for the price range that they're looking at. And I'm thinking, if I'm spending $1.3 million on a house, I want to make sure I've got room. I want it to be nice. I want it to have
yeah,
all the good finishes. I'm not blowing $1.3 million on a house that is smaller than the one that I'm living in. I
mm.
want a house that's nicer than the one I'm living in if I'm spending $1.3 million.
Yeah, exactly. And the solar thing brings me again back to the electric cars, right? Say if you've got an electric car or a plug-in hybrid, which again I think is the way to go at the moment,
Mm.
it'd cost you. next to nothing in fuel because you'd be charging at home off your solar battery.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. You're literally charging free electricity during the day. You're not
Hmm.
the sun is literally keeping that battery charged. You can run heating. You can run your solar car. You can
Hmm.
literally recharge everything in your household, and it not cost you a cent.
And you were saying that was it the last winter your electricity bill was
A hundred,
$140?
130, 140 bucks,
$130?
and again, most of that is admin fees
And you were running the heating
all day,
the entire day, I take it. So that
entire
means
day, the entire night.
I know you, like me, you've got ducted heating, and that
Mm.
thing is an absolute power pig.
It loves the power. So
So
even
that's
this
telling
PC,
me,
like
oh
this
yeah,
PC will, after 6 o'clock when the sun goes down,
yeah,
if I don't turn this off by 7:30, 8 o'clock at night,
yeah.
within the hour, that battery is gone, chewed, gone, dead.
Really?
This
Wow.
thing has been souped up. Like I've put a lot of money into my PC. This thing chews the electricity like it is going out of fashion. So not only is the inducted aircon, if we had that
Mm,
and the PC going at the same time, within the
mm.
half hour, we'd have no battery left because it's
But
just sucking.
I digress, right? So you told me you're running the heating all day, and it's only added an extra $40 onto
Yep.
your bill. So if you had the plug-in hybrid, okay, my mate says that if he charges his car at home, it only adds something like 60 cents per day to his power bill. So that's what, an extra 30, maybe $40 a quarter to
A
your power
quarter.
bill if you had
Yep.
one.
If I had one. And if I did it during the day, it doesn't cost me
Mm,
anything because,
yeah.
at nighttime, obviously by then it'd be fully charged. I just unplug it and she's done.
It's like in my case, for example. So that's telling me your solar panels are putting out a shitload of power.
They put out a shitload. So
Yeah,
we didn't go cheap when it came to the panels. So we went with Homewise
absolutely not.
Solar.
Yeah.
He's a local bloke. I wanted bigger battery. I wanted bigger panels. He goes, but you don't need it for what you've got. Even if you were to have an EV vehicle, you could charge all of this during the day,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
not cost anything. So during the day while the sun is up, you can run everything, and that battery will stay 100% fully charged, costing you zero.
Yeah. So if you're like
Zero. Nothing. Zero.
he keeps
So
he keeps
even
forgetting
if you were to
that
come
that
home
his
at
camera's
5
off to
o'clock,
the right of the PC.
yeah, I keep forgetting it's over here now. If I was to go to work, come home at 4:30, 5 o'clock, even 5:30, the sun's still up. Now I can quickly put that car on charge, and within a couple of hours, bang, that car's fully charged, and it's still not going to run down that battery enough to where I've got no power through the night. So we had the
It's
whole
like-
street out. Whole street, the Western Power turned off the power. They're like, we're doing works, we're turning everything off. We've got the blackout system.
Really?
We've got a blackout system. So the battery just kicked in, turned everything back on again. Western Power's come knock and go, hey, why have you got power? We're like, battery backup. Everything's running. They're like, okay, no worries.
See how my roof is all. See how my roof is all.
See that, mate?
Is shiny.
See how there's a
shiny,
solar
and
panel
solar
security
panels, bro.
cam sitting on the roof. It's all there.
No, but so even if you're like me, for example, right? Okay, we'll go back to my old mate. Remember, I said earlier, his car, if he charges it at home and it tops off at 100% rather than 80, like most superchargers will top you off at 80, and then that'll be that. If he goes up to 100%, he gets 190 kilometers of driving. So that's for the average commuter. That's like 2 weeks worth of driving.
Yeah.
Most people don't do that much driving in a week.
No.
So say like me, if I got an electric car, solar panels, I'd only have to charge my car once a month because I don't use the car to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you walking distance as well? Sort of.
Depends on the depot I'm driving out of. Which is extremely rare. If I'm driving out of the depot that's closest to me, I can walk there in about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But if I'm driving out of my home depot, which is Home Depot, which is about 10 kilometers from home, I can still use the e-scooter and get there in half an hour.
There you go.
And
I had an
like,
e-scooter, and then
the e-scooter needs to be
breaking
charged as well, but it's cost fuck all to charge that thing.
That's it. And that's kind of the best part to it is e-scooters are great to get around for these little short trips, and you can fold it up, put it in the cab wherever you need it to be. But it's like I had an e-scooter and I kept breaking it. It wasn't a cheap scooter, like it was semi-decent, but our footpaths over here, like there was a tiny little screw in the head that kept coming out and you could hear it rattling around in there. So I called them up, sent it back. They sent another one. Same thing happened again. I'm like, what is going on? Is there just a bad batch? Then they found out, oh, that's by design. It's designed to come out. I'm like, I don't think it's designed to have a screw loose the whole way through, rattling around in there, designed to just pop out. So I sent it back. I didn't want any risk. There was a lithium bloody battery as well. I'm like, man, if this screw is on the motherboard or something and I'm charging it, it's just going to cause a fucking fire. The whole house is going to go up all because of this tiny little screw. I was like, I'm not fucking with that. Sent it back, got refund. Haven't touched an electric scooter since, unless I'm going to spend $600-700 on a decent scooter, on one of those nice big ones that are rugged wheels and designed for sort of shitty ass roads, I guess you'd put it.
Well, sorry.
No, yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, why don't we hook into this in the next episode?
Let's do that.
Yeah, because we're about to hit the hour mark, so I'm going to play the theme music. And to Autobot Dad, I'm going to be back in 5 minutes, but to everybody else, we'll be back in a week.
Yeah, see you guys next week. And just want to do a shout out for our Bellow Bliss as well. Got your product the other week, and yeah, once again, top product.
Yeah, forgot about the sponsors, but again, we can talk about that in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Oh my God, if only I could get Riverside to actually do what I want. There we go.